Hey everybody, Farzana here, and I'm a life coach and a transformation teacher, and I am super passionate about sharing tips and techniques and practices on how to improve your mindset and your operating system in order to express and experience more and more love and joy, self-expression, self-fulfillment in your life. And today I'm super excited to be sharing with you the importance of keeping a positive attitude, using positive words and language in order to not become a hater. And why is it important not to become a hater? Because during these challenging times, when tensions are high with fear, anxiety, grief, loss, separation, hatred, violence, and just widespread uncertainty, it's really easy in that sort of an environment for many of us who don't generally consider ourselves to be negative or consider ourselves to be haters to suddenly find ourselves becoming haters. And if you find yourself right now at this moment in time suddenly doing a lot of judging and blaming and shaming and criticizing, then you, my friend, are indulging in hateful behavior, and it needs to stop. So let's get into this so that we can figure out how not to become a hater. Alright, so what exactly is a hater? Let's just all make sure we're on the same page. So a hater, as defined by Webster's, is a person who is extremely negative and extremely critical and greatly dislikes a specified person, situation, or a thing. And so currently we are living in a culture that is absolutely steeped in hatred and criticizing, judging, blaming, shaming. There's hatred for the media, hatred for the government, hatred for certain groups of people, hatred for the circumstances that we're finding ourselves in, right? And all of this hatred and division is just swirling all around us, this negative energy, just coming at us. It's hard to escape. When someone is intentionally being cruel and horrible and nasty, it becomes really tempting to get baited and start hating on that person, right? Because you feel absolutely justified, right? But the fact of the matter is, no matter how justified you feel, hate is hate. And as soon as you start using words that are loaded with hate, you have lost your peace, right? And now you are contributing to the general negativity that is swirling on around you. And you have crossed over to the dark side, as it were, to be a little bit dramatic, right? And if you don't watch out, it's so easy to just get lost down that road of hatred, right? So you really want to just not get started in the first place. Hate is a very low and negative energy. So it's important for you to understand how these hateful words and vibrations actually hurt yourself. And that's why you don't want to indulge in hate, because you're trying to improve your life. You're trying to become a more loving and kind and positive force in the world. And if you start hating, well, then you're not being a positive force in the world, right? And if you're in a hateful mode at the moment, then you are transmitting hateful vibes, negative vibes. So you're not helping yourself and you're not helping those around you. So you have to nip that in the bud as soon as you become aware that you have slipped into hater mode. So how do you avoid the temptation of slipping into hater mode. So you have to check out, what are you feeding on? If you know that when you get onto Facebook, you're going to start getting all angry at certain posts, or you're going to start getting upset, then you might want to limit your exposure to that, right? If you get riled up every time that you check in on the news, then maybe you don't want to do that every 15 minutes throughout the day, right? I mean, why feed yourself the things that then provoke all of the negativity and the hatred, right? You want to spend your time bringing as much joy and positivity into your own life and putting it out into the world. And so when we get caught up in hatred, right, and we start up in the swirl of like judging and complaining and stressing out and ranting and raving, it's so easy to just get lost in the swirl of hatred and anger. And when you get lost in that, well, then you've lost yourself. And so you have to take a look at what's underneath, what is triggering all of this hatred. And a lot of people, that's exactly what they're afraid of. They're afraid of looking at what's underneath the hatred, because maybe there's going to be like, powerlessness or shame underneath, or other uncomfortable emotions that we really are not ready to handle. And so you feel you have a little bit more power through hatred, right? Whereas the other emotions may make you feel powerless or vulnerable. And these are things that a lot of us feel uncomfortable feeling or expressing. A wonderful demonstration on how the power of our words and emotions impact our health and well-being is Dr. Emoto's now legendary experiments on examining the effects of words and prayers and music on the crystalline structure of water. And what he discovered is that when kind and loving words were spoken into the water, they formed a complete, beautiful crystal structure, as opposed to the distorted shapes created by the words of hate and anger. Now, considering that our bodies are 70% water, we can see how words flowing through our system have the same impact on our health. You see, toxic words and emotions are responsible for so many of today's illnesses and diseases. Once we actually start fully understanding the power of our words, we become really mindful, right? We start becoming aware of the sorts of words we use, knowing that words shape our experience. Words are having an impact on our health and well-being. And so once you know that, you become mindful, right? And you start using words that empower and bless your life. You begin to use words that bring about joy and happiness and success. Because if you want to have a joyful life, if you want to have happiness in your life, it's a choice. It's a choice of choosing happiness and then using the words and the emotions that correspond with happiness. Like, you're not going to get really happy if you're going to spend your entire day complaining, moaning, and groaning, right? Because when you're moaning and groaning, that doesn't lift you up and get you into the vibration to do stuff. See, happiness is a much, much higher vibration than fear and hatred and negativity and judging and complaining, right? They're just living in different vibrations. So if you want to bring about good health and happiness and love and joy and success and completion in your life, then you have to speak the words and create and generate the vibration of joy, happiness, and success. So let's check out some pictures of the crystals from Dr. Emoto's experiment. And as you're taking a look at these, try to think about the words that you use often, right? Like take a look at the crystal that corresponds to words that you use on a day-to-day basis. Now, of course, no matter who you are, negative thoughts and emotions are going to arise once in a while, right? That's just life. So it's important to acknowledge your negative feelings, and it's important to process any negative feelings, including hate. Because like all feelings are always trying to provide you with valuable information as to where you are at this moment and what is going on for you. So feelings of hate and anger actually invite us to look deeper and to learn about who we are and what we believe and what is important to us. We always have a choice, right, of how we are showing up in the world, how we are showing up for ourselves. And most of us, I can pretty much guarantee, would much rather show up as confident and kind and competent, right, and able to get stuff done. And so I love that the Dalai Lama says that kindness is his religion. I mean, wouldn't it be great if kindness was everybody's religion? Now, I know you, if you're a hater especially, that may sound really hokey, right? And really corny. But hey, would you rather live in a kind world or would you rather live in a hater world? Again, the choice is yours. So how do you become kind? Well, you become kind by first choosing it and then choosing it in every moment. Whatever circumstance you find yourself in, whatever life is serving up for the day, you have the choice to keep your peace. You have the choice to stay kind, right? If people are being hateful or obnoxious or doing things that are not very skillful, you don't have to fall to their level, right? Because that doesn't help. You can choose to stay high. When they go low, you stay high. Again, with the vibration, right? When people are in a judging and fearful and anxious state, they're operating at a lower frequency. And if you are operating from a place of love and kindness and wisdom, well, you're operating from a higher vibration, right? And that feels good, and life is good in that vibration, and you want to stay there. And so when you really become clear on that, you realize that you want to hold on to your peace. You want to hold on to your happiness. And so no matter what is going on, you understand that you're going to hold on to your peace. You're going to hold on to your wisdom. You're going to hold on to staying chill, because nothing that anyone or anything is up to is going to tempt you to fall on down to a lower vibration of fear, anxiety, hatred, and so forth. And so when you are happy in life, you don't have any desire to be jealous or envious or hating on anyone else's success or good fortune, because you know that good fortune is in your own hands. You know that you can create your own success. You know that you can create your own joy. You know there is no shortage of joy, because joy is created and generated from within you. And the change always begins with you. It begins with using the power of your words to create the kind of world you want to live in. If you want to live in a kind world, well, then you have to be kind, right? You have to be the change that you want to see. If you want to live in a kind and positive world, well, then that begins with you. You need to start speaking kindly. You need to start acting kindly. You need to do random acts of kindness, right? It's good for you and it's good for the world. My name is Farzana. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you today, and I hope you'll join me in the next episode. Until then, peace.